Welcome to the Boxing Bookie. It is good to be back. We're going to talk about David Benavidez and Gvozdyk today, Alexander Gvozdyk, in what I think is going to show out to be a one-sided mismatch for the most part. I kind of like Benavidez by stoppage here. I think it's pretty one-sided. Can Gvozdyk go the distance? I probably not, although there's a chance. Before we get into that, please like, share, and subscribe. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also, remember to tip your boxing bookie. Remember to tip your gambling advisor when you join the Patreon. Link is in the description. It's also in the banner below. Patreon just $5 a month. It gets you the lock of the week. It gets you all the best perks. It gets you asked to bookie anything. Ask me to handicap a fight. Ask me to make a video on a fight that I haven't done yet, and I'll do that for you. Also, join the other channel, Texas Boxing Scene on YouTube. That's Texas Boxing Scene. All proceeds go to autism research and recovery. All right, let's get into it. David Benavidez is the Mexican monster for a reason. He's a monster. This is his first fight at 175. He's missed 168. He's been at 168 probably way too long. I know he fought at 175 really early in his career. I think he fought as high as 180 in Mexico as a teenager, as a kid. But this is his first fight of note at 175. He's coming off the destruction of Demetrius Andrade in 6 rounds. Caleb Plant was able to go the distance with him. And you just look at his resume. He fought twice in 2023. He beat Andrade and Plant. In 2022, he beat Lemieux. In 2021, he beat Kieran Davis and Ronald Ellis. 2019, he's been a monster for quite some time. He's been destroying everything in his path. He's a load to deal with. For a guy that size, with that kind of power and that kind of physical strength, his hand speed is kind of a wonder. It's kind of a marvel. He's often been called a weight bully. I don't necessarily agree with that. I also think it's stupid. Like, I think it's largely dumb. If you can make the weight, you can make the weight. Like, I don't. What do you want me to say? Like, get over it. I don't like the phrase weight bully. And if you make the weight, you make the weight. Now, I understand that he lost the belt on a scale once. If you want to call him a weight bully for that, okay, I understand. That was obviously a while ago that he lost the belt on the scale. He's also given up a belt because of some issues with drugs and things like that. But as a fighter, Benavidez is top notch. He really is. There's flaws in him. He's not a perfect fighter by any means, not by any stretch of the imagination. He's a big, strong guy, but he's got habits. He comes in face first. His footwork is a mess. He crushes his feet like an amateur. He crushes his feet, bang, just hit him. I think that Canelo is ducking him, but I also think Canelo could beat him too. Canelo is so much more fundamentally sound. Canelo is the better boxer. Canelo is more responsibly defensively. The question comes when it gets down into the trenches, when they are banging it out in the trenches. How does this go? Can Canelo outland him, outwork him, break him down? So far, no one has been able to really break down Benavidez. No one's, he breaks you down. He wears you down. And that's kind of how I see this fight going. And this is no shade at Alexander Gvozdyk. Alexander Gvozdyk was a hell of a fighter. 21, 16 knockouts. He can punch. He can hit. He's only been the distance a few times. Most recently, he went the distance last year with Josue Abando. And I think an untelevised card. I know I didn't see it. This fight was at 185. I think it was Eric Ibarra was the promoter on that. I think it was untelevised. Then he fought Ricardo Bolotniks and Isaac Rodriguez. Most recently, that was in September of 2023. And now he gets a big fight again. His last big fight was 4 years ago. It was almost 5 years ago. It was October of 2019. He fought Artur Benavidez, and he was doing okay. And Benavidez broke him down, stopped him, dropped him, I think 3 times in the 10th round, and eventually got the stoppage. Now, he got broken down then. That was 5 years ago. He would have been 32. Now he's 37. And now you're telling me against a bigger killer, a bigger monster. I guess he's not bigger. A similar guy in stature and power isn't going to break him down. Like I like Gvozdyk. I liked him a lot 5 years ago. I picked him 5 years ago to win that fight with Benavidez. Now I was wrong. Okay, I'll admit that. But I think Gvozdyk is an excellent fighter. So this is not shade on Gvozdyk. The problem is he's 37 years old and he's shot. And I've been listening to other podcasts and other experts saying he's not shot. No, he's shot. He's 10 years older than Benavidez, and he's shot. Like, let's just be honest and upfront about it. He's a shot fighter. Like, I mean, look, Father Time catches up with everyone. Everyone. Father Time is undefeated. Alexander Gvozdyk is 37 years old. 37 years old. That's not a young man. And now his best years are behind him. And he was an excellent fighter. But those days are no more. So I don't see him really putting up much of a fight even. I mean, he may be able to outbox him for a few rounds. He may have some flashes here and there because he was an awesome fighter, an excellent fighter. When he was beating Adonis Stevenson, he was excellent. He was really, really good. One of the top 3 guys in that weight class. He's got Craig Baker. He's got Yusuke Gonzalez, who he destroyed. Stopped him in 3 rounds, and that's a good opponent. Isaac Chalemba. He has names. He has a resume that is quality. But he never beat a guy as good as Benavidez. Not even when he was 30. So now he's 37. It ain't going to happen. All right, let's get to some of these. Muscles Brown. Big ups to G for putting out the lock of the week a day early. Yeah, but why wait? I like the odds. I knew what I was going to lock up. If you're in the Patreon, you got the lock of the week. If you have not joined the Patreon, join the Patreon. Get the lock of the week. It's $5 a month. It's going to make you hundreds or thousands or however much you like to bet, but you're going to make a ton of money. So join the Patreon. Not sure why some are saying this can be an upset. Because, here's why they're saying it could be. Because Gvozdyk was really, really good. He was. But that day is no more. Like I said, Father Time catches up with everyone. It's like saying, can Eli Manning go play quarterback again? Well, he was good. Yeah, he was. And now he's not. And I don't mean that to throw shade at him. I mean that in the most sincere way. I think Gvozdyk was an excellent fighter 5 years ago. It ain't 5 years ago. So I don't really see him surviving. I don't think he's going to – I think he can only be positive. I mean, he was such a physical beast at 68. 68 to 75 is not going to make a massive difference. Some weight classes, like particularly 40 to 47, and there are other weight classes like 30 to 35. I feel is a big jump. 68 to 75. I mean, I think he's going to be fine. I don't think. He's not. I mean, could he be stronger? Maybe. Do I think he's going to be small and smaller, and he's going to be pushed around? No, he's going to be a monster at 175. It doesn't. And Gvozdyk is not a huge 175 to start with. It's like Michael Jordan playing in today's game. Feel me? Yeah, for sure. Right? Like Michael Jordan is the greatest. He's the greatest of all time. If you put Michael Jordan out there now in today's game, he's lost. But that's the game has changed too, right? Like I get asked this question, like Jordan's Bulls, the three-peat, the second three-peat Bulls, Rodman and Pippen against Kevin Durant's Warriors, and it's like, well, like look, Chicago's not going to throw anything at Golden State that Golden State hasn't seen. When you take the 96 Bulls and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson pull up from 35 feet. The Chicago Bulls aren't going to defend that. They aren't going to know what hit them. You understand what I'm saying? Like this, by the time they figured out what the hell is going on, they'd have lost the series, right? Like the Golden State Warriors changed the game. Now, you may say you think the 96 Bulls were more dominant in their era. Okay. I probably agree with that. But they would not beat the 2018, 2017 Golden State Warriors. I mean, the game has changed too much and it's evolved, and they wouldn't know what to do with the Splash Brothers and Kevin Durant. Right? I mean, a combination of Clay and Dre and Iguodala could guard Jordan to a degree. I'm not saying they're going to shut him down or they're going to stop him or they're going to hold him to 0 points. A combination of those guys would keep him in check where he doesn't score 50, right? He may score 35. Okay. But Golden State's going to score 115, 110. So how are you going to get the rest of those points? You don't have any good players on offense. And you look at the shooting now, like the game evolves, the game changes, and that Golden State Warrior team would beat the 96 Bulls. You may not like to admit that for nostalgia reasons. And I think Jordan's the GOAT. Like, I don't even think it's particularly close. I think Jordan's the GOAT, period. But the game changes. Like, it changes and evolves from, just the three-point ball, right? Like, you go back, you watch the games from 96. You can see guys, shooters, Kukoc, Reggie Miller, Jordan, shooting 22-foot threes. Like, just take that one step back and shoot a three. It's worth 50% more, right? But it wasn't the game. It wasn't how they played it then. If I can shoot threes just as efficiently as you can shoot long twos, guess what? I win by a lot. But back to boxing, obviously. Let's take a look at the odds on this fight, because I feel like the odds are pretty good. Like, I feel, and I've heard some people say that Gvozdyk is going to win this fight. I just can't see it at all. I understand what you're saying. He's going to outbox him. Okay. Do you think Gvozdyk could outbox Caleb Plant? Probably not. Caleb Plant couldn't just sit there and outbox him, right? Like, he's not going to win. Like, Gvozdyk's not going to win. He's too old and too shot. 5 years ago, maybe this is a little bit different story, but the guy is 37. And I understand he took 4 years off. You're going to say he rested his body and this and that and the third. Okay. He's 37. He's not as good as he was when he was 30. And he's not going to win. I don't mean that to be insulting. I don't think he's a bad fighter, but he's slowed down. He's more stationary. He's in front of you more than he used to be. He's going to be in front of Benavidez, who's an absolute monster. So I want to look at it. So minus 650. Nice little bet to add to your parlay. Nice little. Son of Apollo has a great idea. Everyone hit the like button. That's a great idea, Son of Apollo. Muscle Brown, no way Caleb boxes circles around him. No way. Yeah, Caleb will box circles around Gvozdyk. Yeah. Right? So Caleb Plant, who's a master technician, a better athlete, slicker than Gvozdyk, couldn't sit there and outbox him for 12 rounds. So how is Gvozdyk going to do it? Right? Like, if Caleb Plant and Gvozdyk fought when Gvozdyk was in his prime, you probably pick Caleb Plant. If you're picking Gvozdyk, you're picking him to be the bigger, stronger, more physical man. You're not picking him to win a 12-round chess match with Caleb Plant. So, like, you know what I'm saying? The path to victory here for Gvozdyk just isn't here. Especially now that he's less, he's more stationary. He's older. He doesn't move like he used to. He's not what he was. And what he was 5 years ago was a damn good fighter. He's not that anymore. So, Benavidez at minus 650, I think it's a great little bet to add to your parlay. What they're telling you, and I want you to look at this, is Benavidez by stoppage is going to be minus 190. So almost a 2-1 in favor of Benavidez by stoppage. Even money on the 9th round. Even money on 9.5. So what they're telling you, what the odds makers, what the bookies are telling you, is that Benavidez is going to stop him in the 9th or 10th round. I'd probably like a little sooner than that. I would probably take the under on that stoppage on the 9.5. But that seems reasonable. If you ask me for a round, I'd say 7 or 8. So I would, if I was making the line, I'd make the over under either. I would make that minus 130 at 9.5, or I would move it to 7.5 and make it keep it basically even. So what the odds makers are telling you is that Benavidez is going to win this fight by stoppage in the 9th or 10th round. Now, let's see how correct they are. It's not, that's a very reasonable, a lot of times I get on the bookies, the odds makers, they don't know what they're doing. I say that all the time. And largely they don't. But in this particular situation, I think they're onto something. I think minus 600 is about right. What minus 600 tells me is if they fought 7 times, Benavidez would win 6 of them. Yeah. I mean, that's probably reasonable. I don't see this as an ultra competitive fight. And I don't, I think that the card itself is good. I think Davis and Martin is a great fight. Gary Antoine Russell is on the card, who I love. But I think this fight, and this is somehow for a, what is it? WBC interim? Is that what it's for? The BC or is it the BA? I think it's let me look at it. It's for an interim light heavyweight belt, which is interesting because, Gvozdyk at 175 has fought 3 times in the last 5 years against Isaac Rodriguez, Ricardo Bolotniks, and Josue Abando, which I don't know how that puts him in line to fight for a world title. On the other side of that, Benavidez has never fought at 175. He's never fought a meaningful fight at 175. So why would this be for, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is weird. You got one guy who's been irrelevant for 5 years at the division and one guy who's not been at the division. This is for the BC interim, the WBC interim, which means the winner goes on to fight the world champion. In theory. I'd like to see that happen. I guess we're done with Benavidez and Canelo. I never thought Canelo was going to fight him. Canelo said he's not going to fight any more Mexican fighters, and then he fights Canelo. Then he fights Munguia. So I mean, make of that what you will. So in theory, again, if Benavidez wins this fight, which I definitely think he will, if Benavidez wins this fight, in theory, he should fight Art Benavidez next. Now, how much would you like to bet that fight never happens? I think Art Benavidez fights Bivol, win or lose. I think that's probably it for him. Or they'll start stripping belts from him. And he's not going to fight Benavidez. I think win or lose, if he loses to Bivol, they may rematch. If Benavidez beats Bivol, I think Benavidez retires on top. And why wouldn't he? He's 40 years old. He's undisputed in the division. Where does he rank? Now, the only question is, where does he rank all time with light heavyweights? Because it would be really good. Like, if you look at his resume, it's good. We can go through some of the names, but he's really ran through that division. It would have been, he's only had 20 fights. If he beat Bivol, that would be 20. But if he beats Bivol, he's got Bivol, Caleb Smith, Anthony Yard, Joe Smith Jr., Marcus Brown, Gvozdyk, Caleb Johnson. It's a pretty good resume. He also would have Gabriel Campillo, which was an eliminator back in 20. That's how long this guy's been champion. It's a good resume. Where does it rank all time? Does it make him a Hall of Famer? Yeah, I think it makes him a Hall of Famer. Where does it rank him amongst the great light heavyweights of all time? That's an interesting question and an intriguing question. What's the rest of this month look like for fights? We got 2 more weekends of fights this month. I gotta look at it. I've been so hyper focused on this weekend with all the boxing this weekend, and I'm still just getting started. Like I'm gonna do another video today. I'm gonna do another video Thursday. I'm gonna do another video Friday. I'm gonna do a live reaction on Saturday to both fights. I'm gonna just try to do one and break down all the action. But we got the 2 big cards. I haven't even looked. We got Bam Rodriguez and Estrada at the end of the month on the 27th. So remember that. What do we have? What is next week? Let's take a look. Like we have the odds up. They have next week fights. That would be Lewis Crocker and Conor Walker. That's a decent fight. Tyler Denny and Felix Cash. Lamont Roach. Robertson Ramirez. Oh, you got the Pro Box card Friday night. Lamont Roach and McCrory, Pedrick McCrory. Robertson Ramirez is fighting. What's that top rank card? Sonny Edwards and Adrian Carell. And you have Teofimo Lopez and Steve Claggett. That's in Miami, right? Yeah. Okay. So again, next week is going to be a little slow. Looks like you just have one British card. It's going to be tough to come up with a lock for that week. But then 2 weeks from now, we got another loaded week. So next week, a little slow. And then 2 weeks, we're back with a bang, with a big-time bang in Miami with Teofimo Lopez. Muscles Brown, who you got on Bivol Benavidez? Probably Benavidez. Probably Benavidez. I've always thought Bivol's a little small, and I think this Benavidez is so underrated, and he's such a complete fighter. Probably Benavidez, but it's a great fight. I wouldn't be shocked if Bivol was able to outpoint him, but I think Bivol slows down and Benavidez stops him. I think Benavidez stops everyone. I just think it's a safe bet. But if you told me Bivol survived and won a close decision, yeah, I could see that. The thing about Benavidez is he's a pretty good boxer. Like, we have this image of him that he's just some come forward, wrecking ball, slow plotting, thing. And he's not. He's got pretty good movement. He can go fight off the back foot, good lateral movement. He does a lot of things well. He's a really complete fighter who happens to be an absolute wrecking ball as well. So Benavidez has been a pound for pound guy for a long, long time. And, it's been inactivity. It's been, the Bivol fight hasn't gotten made. He never got to take the throne from Kovalev, who was the light heavyweight king. He never got Canelo for good reason. Canelo's obviously not going to fight him, and I don't blame Canelo. That's not his weight class. So if I was Canelo, I'm not going up to fight this monster. And that's how I feel about Benavidez. Now, like, Canelo's not going to go up and fight Benavidez. He's simply going to say, it's not my weight class, when he waited for him to leave the weight class, right? Like, Benavidez would have gladly stayed at 68 to fight Canelo, but Canelo wasn't going to fight him. I agree. I got Benavidez, bro. Yeah. I wouldn't be, yeah. I think if they made the odds right now, I think Benavidez would be about a plus 220, something like that. I think there'd be a lot of money on Bivol, just like there was money on Bivol for the Canelo fight. I think, there's good reason that people rate Bivol highly. He's a pound for pound talent as well. Stylistically and size-wise, I mean, Benavidez is just a terrible matchup. The only thing that you can hope for is that at 39 or 40, whatever he is now, he ages out. That's really, you're hoping that Benavidez gets old quickly. And look, he's 39, so it's possible. And that's what I'm saying. It's not impossible that Bivol could win that fight. How that happens is, Benavidez goes in the ring and he's a lot older than when, the night before. So, Bivol looked good. Mostly in his fight with Malik Zanad. He dropped him early and finished him in the middle rounds. That was in that Riyadh card just a couple weeks ago, I guess 2 weeks ago. Wasn't much of a test. That was an easy money fight. It was a great fight just to add to your parlay, just make the odds a little better. But we're going to come back tomorrow as well. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do another show tomorrow. Tonight I'm gonna drop the video on Russell and Puello. Russell and Puello, that's a good fight. It's also part of my lock of the week. So if you want to know what the lock of the week is and you want to make money every single week, join the Patreon. I'm going to put the link in the chat now. Join the Patreon. It's just $5 a month. Makes you a ton of money. You can ask the current Patreons who pay $5 a month and get hundreds or thousands of dollars a week of gambling advice. There it is. Join the Patreon, $5 a month. But we'll be back. We're going to have a loaded week. And I'm going to the Bam Rodriguez fight 2 weeks from now in Arizona. And I'm also going to Jared Enos in Philadelphia 2 weeks after that. So I'm going to be gone a lot, but I'm going to keep dropping videos for y'all. I'm going to do this. I may not be able to go as live as much as I would like, but we're going to do that as much as we can. Let me know if there's any last questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, any super chats, anything y'all want me to address. Let me know. This was a pretty good live today. My guess for Benavidez, and he ain't lying. Boxing really is the one sport where we can make money on it. Like, if you try to bet on baseball or college football, what a lot of people do, you're going to lose. Like, they're too good at that. You're going to lose. Boxing, the proof is in the pudding. Like, I've done it for you guys. Like, you can go pull up my videos. We make money every single week doing this. The proof is in the pudding. I don't need to tell you that I've done it. Like, the proof is there. It's there. So this is the one sport I can show you how to do it. I mean, I can't really show you how to do it. I can just tell you what to do, and you can take it or leave it. But my results speak for themselves. Like, you can't tell me. I keep saying that I'm the best in the world at this, and I don't mean to be braggadocious or anything or talking trash. Like, I'm the best in the world at this. Like, you're not going to shout out to Dwyer. He's great. No one is going to consistently beat me doing this. If you guys are willing to join Patreon for a couple of weeks and test it out. See, like I've been saying, me and Muscles have been doing this since January. He's made over $200,000 and he's missed on 2 weeks. Would you like those kind of returns? Are those kind of returns something you'd be interested in? G stays beating the house. Man, I beat the house. They don't. When it comes to boxing, they don't know what they're doing. They really, really don't know what they're doing. And next week's going to be a little slow. Not a ton on the table for next week. That's the 21st and the 22nd. But that 28th, 29th, we get busy again. We get busy. We got Estrada Rodriguez. We got Teofimo Lopez-Claggett. We got Sonny Edwards and Adrian Currell. Roberto Ramirez in action. Just a lot of good fights. We got Lamont Roach defending his title. Next week, we got Tyler Denny and Felix Cash. I'm hoping I can find this. I'm hoping it's on. Is it on TV? Does anyone know if that Tyler Denny, Felix Cash, Lewis Crocker, Conan Walker card is on any of the streaming apps in the States? Is that watchable? Can I grab that? Can I watch that in the US? Because I would love to. Anyway, guys, tonight I'm going to drop the video on Gary Russell. And then tomorrow we're going to be back with another live stream. We're going to go live again tomorrow. Yeah, I've been consistent. Muscle says, talk my shit. I've been consistent with it, so you can talk it. All my videos are up there. Like, all the receipts are saved. Like, YouTube saves my receipts forever. So they're all up there. I've missed some, but not many, guys. Really, not many. Even when I miss, I still partially get it right. Like, I'll take the over. I show you how to make money, how to make these bets safe, how to hedge yourself, what bet looks good, right? Like, you guys want a great bet? Let me show you guys a great bet. Total rounds, money line. Where is It was minus 300 for it not to go the distance. But Subriel Matias by KO, minus 360. Great bet. Right? That minus 360 to go the distance. There it is. No. The fight will not go the distance. Okay, it's got a little worse, but that's a great bet. The fight's not going the distance. Why can I never see that? The fight to go the distance, minus 475. It's a great bet. This fight's not going the distance, guys. Bet that. Super Matias versus Liam Power is not going the distance. It's a good bet to make money on. Great fight. Great little fight. A little bet to throw into your parlay. It's there's easy money to be made in boxing. Like there really, really is. There's easy money to be made in boxing. And I show you how to do it. So join the Patreon, guys. I'm going to head out. I'm going to check out this Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Obviously, I'm a big basketball fan. But join the Patreon if you haven't. Link is in the description. It's also in the banner below. It is June 12th, 2024 from Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.